Oh look, it's the plug. It's RX11. Can you hear that though? It sounds like there's so many bits in there. Let's see. I suppose I need to tell you the tale of how do I start those videos? Well, I guess you're wondering how I found myself in this mess. Let me tell you how I got here. I ordered the Ozark to start off with. I thought the prescription had gone through. In the meantime, Integro and IPS decided to block any scripts being dispensed and any scripts being written in the first place for Takoda 1 and for the plug's flowers. Now, did anyone tell me this? Did anyone let me know that my prescription had just been cancelled for no real reason at all? Of course, as far as I was aware, no reason in the slightest. And it was another week before I actually found this out, because things got confusing, things got difficult. So it was another week before I find out that these prescriptions haven't been written. I'll rephrase that. The script had been written, it just hadn't been sent. And then I get IPS telling me that they can see the prescription on the system. Then I get Integro telling me that they can't see the prescription on the system. Then I get told that it's been blocked. Then I get told that it's okay. And then in the meantime, another patient with Integro that I know of, that I speak to, has had their prescription get through that was written at the same time as mine, and their prescription got through to Takoda 1 next day delivery. Mine didn't get sent for some reason, so I guess his got written, sent off, and in the meantime mine got held up in the block or something. I wouldn't know though, because no one told me about any of this. I've had to go chasing this up myself. Someone else has pointed out recently in the comments that this is supposedly private medication. If you go private in any other part of the healthcare industry, you are treated like your money matters. I don't know what's going on with these clinics, but certainly we're not being treated like we actually matter. We are certainly being treated more like cash cows, and we're certainly not being treated like we're a bunch of people that might have a ton of neurological disorders or emotional disorders from being in pain all the time and from God knows what else. We are not being treated with a care and respect on that basis at all. But anyway, so that was a mess. When it comes round time for me to pay for my prescription, because I think it's at the plug or Takoda 1, that's around the time that we find out that my fellow patient has received his medication. IPS Integro is still refusing to write them out. So I don't really understand what was going on there. I've asked, and apparently it's to do with this being grown in the UK and therefore coming under a different designation of cannabis. So they've had to send this out the country to get it reclassified, to be able to get it back in the country to then sell it on. I've been getting mixed messages from the pharmacy telling me that they're not dispensing anything, the clinic telling me they're dispensing absolutely fine, and then having to get the clinic and the pharmacy to talk to each other to get issues figured out. And I just don't understand why a patient is having to do any of that work whatsoever. Memes on bloody Instagram or whatever saying that their flowers are fully available from every clinic, when their own pharmacy is telling me they're not dispensing. I understand companies having teething troubles. This has been ridiculous. The other thing with Takoda is, well, their pharmacy only seems to be open 1 or 2 days a week, and yet they're taking payment for next day delivery. So who's going to be there to figure out problems? Who's going to be there to sort out things when things go wrong? Editing Smack here. I just wanted to drop in that I've been speaking to the clinic manager during all this at the Plug Medical Group, Chanel, and she has been fantastic with dealing with any problems I've had immediately. But obviously at a weekend, I was kind of losing my mind a little bit, not being able to get hold of this medication and being told so many different things from so many different people. And obviously that tone comes across completely in this video. The frustration is palpable. But again, out of everyone that I've dealt with over the past couple of weeks with dealing with this, by far, Dr. Sunny at Integro has been very informative and has at least spoken to me about this. But I think it's him that's recommending the block is on this flower. In terms of how angry I was with the clinic and the pharmacy, and I think that the way it's been set up at the pharmacy is inevitably going to cause problems, but I can't fault Chanel at all. So in that respect, it's definitely a thumbs up to the Plug Medical Group while she's there. That's editing Smack Salad with some calmer thoughts while I'm here on the RX11 actually. Yeah, let's just drop in here a bit of positivity that it's actually, the RX11 is actually really, really nice. But you'll hear me go through that realisation in the taste test and the look at the buds in the next video. Anyway, back to where we were. This is where we get to with this now, this particular tub of medication. Takoda 1's in Leeds. My medication that I paid for last Wednesday, it's now Sunday, went to Essex. I live in Nottinghamshire. Takoda One have blamed DPD not telling them that there was a mail merge feature. Another thing is, you try getting through to the pharmacy. If they're only open 2 days a week, how are you supposed to get through and find out what's going on? So at the moment, I think they're only answering emails. So this tub of RX went to Essex, and then instead of being able to just send me another one out for next day delivery, Takoda One had to wait for their pharmacist to come in that night to dispense another tub for me to then get on Saturday. Saturday rolls around, it's still in Leeds. It's now Sunday midday, and I finally got it. But this has been nothing but ball ache. Straight off the bat, it kind of doesn't matter how good this flour is at the moment. If you can't get it, it's a waste of time. If you're going to have to chase everyone up to get it, it's a waste of time. So anyway, its loss on drying is 7% out of 12%, which is not good. This is UK grown, and actually it was Linneo Health that tested this. So it's the same place that tests Therismos products. I'm also noticing the pack size that they've tested was 250 grams, not one of these 10-gram tubs. So they haven't tested the final tubs, so that's unhelpful. 15% THC, 0.1 CBNs, 0.1 CBDs. Also, Celadon, who grew this in the UK, and the plug have tried to make this COA confidential. And as Medbud have pointed out on the COA, notice of confidentiality is not legally binding. COAs must always be supplied to properly inform medical decision making and consent. And this is another issue where Pierre's an absolute wank for this, telling us that we shouldn't be allowed instant access to the COAs and that it's illegal for him to provide COAs to Medbud, that it would come under advertising to provide medical data, testing data of the medicine that we've got. That would come under being advertising as far as he's concerned. He's the head of Grow Pharma, by the way. He thinks terpenes are a luxury that we should be paying through the nose for, and that's as evidenced by their latest release of their grow flowers, which are beta irradiated, so it's from a dirty grow. To be able to get it to patients, they've had to give it shock treatment, and they want to charge 11 quid for that. Apologies to everyone for the ranting, but you know, these kind of situations need dealing with, and these companies aren't dealing with them. They're making us deal with them. That's it, they're making us deal with them, and they shouldn't be. RX11 was originally bred from RS11, and it's a cross of Skittles and Kush Mints, bred by Grounded Genetics, which originally hailed from England and relocated to Amsterdam, and finally Spain. Little public information currently exists on the strain overall, so we don't even have a strain estimate on Medbud. It's monograph conformity 11.5, which again, I think this is the second time I've said this, I need to look into. So, you know, if you've said something on a video and in a review twice that you said you don't understand something, then it's definitely time for you to go and find out what that thing is, so you're not just being the blind leading the blind. The Plug Medical Group specialise in patients suffering from chronic pain, epilepsy and a range of other health conditions. They specialise in advanced medical cannabis therapies for chronic pain relief. So this is the thing with the Plug Medical Group I've noticed. On their website, there's no cost information whatsoever. Nothing. Those numbers should be up front on their website so we all know. We don't have to jump through any hoops. It also means that you have to register your details with their website to find out what their costs are. They're just getting a list of people's details before they even tell you how much it costs. I don't want that. I'm not giving away my details just to find out what your prices are. So can you please let us know what your costs are so we can know what we're doing? Distinct from other clinics, we support the integration of your treatments with your existing primary care needs. Without urging you to cease any current treatments, our goal is to collaborate closely with all healthcare providers involved in your care, ensuring a cohesive approach to your treatment plan. So that's all the information that I can give you about the Plug Medical Group and about this flower before I open it, which I'm going to do right now. Okay, well, straight away, it smells of paint. Okay, there's some fruity smell in there. It looks okay, but as we know, looks can be deceiving until you get under the scope, and it's a mix of big buds and little buds. There's not a huge amount of shake in the bottom, I don't think, so it doesn't look as bad as it sounded, and it feels like there may have been some stickiness to this at some point. It doesn't quite have the feeling of cardboard. Let's open it up and shove it up my nose. Okay, there is something different about this. I think that's going to give off flavour. Definitely got a different smell and something slightly distinctive to it, but it's not, you know, it's not like the Tyson, which is irradiated and gives off lots of flavour, lots of smell, lots of scent, aroma. You know, when you're charging 13 quid and you haven't got as much nose as beta irradiated Macedonian grown, and you're apparently a company that knows what they're doing, that's a bad sign, I'd say. Let's look at the picture on Medbud and look at the bud itself. No, it hasn't got the purple in it. There's very little purple in it. There's a little bit. The trim job's good. Yeah, very little purple. The flower on Medbud looks glorious. Looks absolutely incredible. The rest of it, No, no purple. There's some purple going on, and I'll show you in the next video, but very little. Let's get some ground, and in the Moab, let's do a taste test.